1830 and soon became known as a place to unwind for the local military garrison over in Victoria Park. Soldier? I like soldiers.
Milkman, traveling salesman.
Tom! This may also be home to one of London's most famous spooks. A ghost who only appeared once, but sure did manage to leave a most dramatic first impression. In fact, there's a lady around here who may be able to tell you a little bit more about that because she was the ghost's true love. She's probably over there picking berries or something. Sarah! Sarah!
Who's there? Are you the woman who comes to kill the chickens?
Oh, she's sweet. It's your lower class friend, Phoebe, and some representatives of the living.
Alas, that I can remember being among the living. Here there are no cakes, no finger sandwiches, no croquet matches, no lemon cordial, and no dancing.
Dancing? Oh, yeah, your pa used to invite that elderly young officer over to cut a cake on your ballroom floor.
It was all so pleasant, so frightfully delightful, but oh, now it's all lost. There's no one to dance with me now. I'm so alone.
No, you're not alone. You can't be because we're here.
Are you the woman who comes to kill the chickens?
I'm going to say yes. Come on, Sarah. Tell us your troubles. How often we feel better about ourselves when we learn of another's misfortune?
Well, must I speak of it? It still upsets me so.
Well, if you don't tell us, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these people. I'll promise them a story of passion and broken hearts. Well, if they don't get it, they may just get restless and trample your flower beds. But
Well, very well then. I will proceed. It was the spring of 1841, and I was fortunate enough to be receiving the attentions of a handsome young lieutenant, Wenman Winiot. Such a name. I couldn't stop teasing him about it. In a good-natured manner, of course. Oh, there was no cruelty intended. His name wasn't his fault. It was his parents' fault, I suppose. On Friday, May the 14th, my father had a spring social at the house, and I pledged my first dance to darling Wenman. Imagine my shock when 10 o'clock came and he'd neither set foot in the door nor sent a note of explanation for his tardiness. I whiled away the time with some other beau. Father insisted I keep up appearances, but I could only think of Wenman. And then, at exactly 10:15, I see him in the window, looking paler than I'd ever seen him before, and with his clothes dripping wet, even though there hadn't been a drop of rain that evening. He gazed into my eyes, disappeared for a moment, but then entered the front door and passed on into the dining room without so much as a word. I remarked to the other gentleman that Mr. Winiot was surely the rudest man I'd ever met. But when I followed him into the adjacent chamber, a gentle rebuke poised upon my lips. Well, there was no trace of him at all. Poor Wenman, his horse came back the next day without him, and on Sunday they pulled his drowned body from the Thames. Oh, something must have happened when he tried to cross the river. He still had the rose I had given him in his buttonhole, and his pocket watch had stopped at 10:15, the exact time we'd seen him in the ballroom. Wenman, is that you? Have you come back for me, Wenman? Oh, Wenman! Wenman!